Now, what is the extraordinary thing that we should consider doing and indeed do? I would like to suggest that our society needs most is change. And change is not something that any modern society should hold back. I have seen my grandfather change into dust. My father became a grandfather and a great-grandfather. I have changed from a son into a father, and my son has changed into me. As it is for me, so it is for you. And so it is for all of us. Change is a natural process that allows us to see, hear, and feel God's promise of everlasting life. Nevis is changing, and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to change as her prodigal sons and daughters return home. I want to salute returnees this evening. Not just Nevisians, but as extraordinary citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So please allow me at this point to ask your permission to make a few suggestions as to what change is needed. Please allow me to suggest just a few simple things that I believe would lead us to do something extraordinary. I would like to touch on, to speak about our general attitude. The disparity between non-national and nationals. And finally, nationals abroad and returning nationals. In regards to our general attitude, we need to put aside the current social model of criticism, correction, and confrontation that we find at every turn of the dial on the radio or every press of the TV remote control. This model has suffocated and restricted the growth and development of our society. Let us now, as we approach 2011, adopt a model of consideration, understanding, and respect, so that we might better be our brother's keeper as we face the realities of the 21st century. If we stop for a moment and think about it, and I was speaking at a table earlier, and it occurred to me, because I was having a whinge and a moan and a complaint about that. No, seriously, I was out there complaining bitterly. But if we think about it, our nation is only 25, 27 years old. Infant. Year on, we have faced natural disasters. Some of those have devastated our islands. I mean, Ina, you're sitting there. You remember back in 1998 when Hurricane George devastated these islands. Within 24 hours, we had a disaster relief operation running in the UK, and we sent £2.8 million worth of food, clothes, and medical supplies down here. But that was only one. Our nation has been hit many, many times. And then, in the last 3 years, 2-3 years, we've been faced with this enormous economic crisis that is outside of our control. Totally outside of our control. The whole world is facing it. As a young fledgling nation, we need to be proud of ourselves because we have stood it and we have survived, and we are now ready to start back on track. We really need to think on about that, really. As for the disparity between nationals and nationals, I read an article recently in a magazine Caribbean homes and lifestyle with the title, Your Passport to Tax-Free Living. The article read, and I quote, "Created in 1984, the Citizenship by Investment program run by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis provides you with physical benefits where you can invest your money in a beautiful home for full citizenship and a passport which offers visa-free access to over 120 countries. It offers zero taxation on foreign earnings, no capital gains, nor wealth, gift or inheritance taxes. Other benefits include duty-free entry of certain household items and reduced rates on other goods." End of quote. Now, that is what we're doing to attract non-nationals. What are we going to do to attract nationals? Do we need to consider developing a similar kind of package or some kind of policy towards that? Let me ask a question. How much have you spent in the Federation over your lifetime? Or how much have you spent since you've returned here? Now, I'm not certain about the Citizenship by Investment program. However, I am certain about the question that needs to be asked and answered by us all, including our government. Where's the program to attract nationals and their children who are living abroad to come home? How can our nation take its rightful place among other nations in the world if we put citizens of other nations before our own children? Returning nationals and citizens abroad are critically important to the development of our island nation. And the island government of Nevis and the federal government are mindful of that fact. And they really ought to move to give assurances that include economic, social, political and financial commitments to working closer with nationals at home and those in the diaspora. Our nation has countless human and natural resources which, when combined, make us a gem in the Eastern Caribbean. However, one of our country's most valuable but often unheralded resources lie abroad, overseas, in the UK, Canada, the USA, St. Thomas, BVI, etc. Successive governments have always been able to count on us in those countries. When they visit, we treat them with the respect of their office. The government now needs to count nationals abroad and those who have returned in terms of their added value to the tourism product and also in terms of the social and economic development plans and hopes for the future. In concluding, let me state clearly that it is my belief that the government should be proud to see returning nationals of all walks of life living, gathering regularly under one roof to assist, guide and support each other while preserving our culture. They should also be proud of our brothers and sisters abroad, proud of our children and our children's children. It would be nice to see the Ministry of Tourism and the Tourism Authority doing much more to engage with our people. To my mind, they should be building on those who visit by creating homecoming celebrations, and they should be committed to working with nationals abroad. Finally, there needs to be much more commitment, that is, real commitment, to thank all Nevisians, all nationals, wherever they live, overseas or at home, for the ways in which they help make our islands and Island Nevis and by extension the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis a better place to live in. The government really should encourage those living overseas to invest their resources, skills and time in strengthening communities here as well as the associations abroad. Brothers and sisters, let us use the skills, knowledge and experience that we acquired through hard work while battling discrimination and racism in foreign lands to build a fair and just society for all. Thank you for allowing me the time to share my views with you. Be assured that the returning National Society Nevis stands ready to represent and advocate on behalf of nationals wherever they happen to be.